My book is finally out. It's an audio book out everywhere. I'll put it down below. I've been promoting the crap out of it to the point I almost don't believe in it anymore. You know how you can say your name over and over again, or say any word over and over again until it loses all sense and becomes meaningless. That's what it feels like promoting this book. I promoted it out of existence, and it's still new to people, which is what I've got to keep reminding myself. And for the last couple of days since it's been out as a paperback in the US, Europe, and Canada, I've been watching it bounce around the rankings on Amazon, and the audiobook bounce around rankings and stuff on worldwide. I found this park to sit in near the supermarket. It's kind of early autumn after a bunch of... So yeah, I feel like my brain is about to come out of its cocoon. And I love the cold air, the cooler air. Sound travels farther in cooler air. In summer, it travels nowhere. You can hardly hear it. You go to the beach and you can hardly hear the waves. It's like they're wrapped in cotton wool balls. But the cool air kind of... You can hear suburbs away. You can hear a dog's bark from a suburb away. And all of a sudden I feel like the barriers, because I can hear sounds from a suburb away, it feels like there's an invisible barrier that comes down. And so it feels like I can travel there because I can hear almost like a whale sonar beyond just the immediate suffocation of my 2 square meters or whatever that I'm sitting in or wherever I am. So the cooler air and the weather of autumn feels like it's time to move, time to dream beyond my small little space. I feel relieved because now I've just finished the end of one marathon, which are like pre-orders and stuff. Now it's the next marathon of promoting the book while it almost feels invisible to me, meaningless. Because I've seen it too much, I've promoted it too much, and so to remain enthusiastic about it is a strange one. So to hear people instant feedback is so good. It gives me a bit of energy to keep believing in my own stuff while I can't see it. I almost need a bit of a break from it, some space, and then I'll know what it is again. When I was submitting the manuscript, I thought, I'm going to keep some of these for a third book, and I went, no, I'm going to put them all in. I'm just going to put them all into the second edition. So I did, and I'm so thankful I did that. They're a kind of a different mindset to where I was when I wrote the majority of You're Going to Be Okay, which can often be a lot of punchlines in it, but these other ones were kind of a non-viral, atmospheric, and just beautiful. Because You're Going to Be Okay is kind of found on a lot of viral pieces. A lot of them cracked 1 million views. Maybe about, of the 160 in the first edition, or 130, there was about 20 to 30 of them that had cracked 1 million views, and the other ones had cracked 500,000 or something like that. So it's made up of a lot of viral pieces, and the new pieces that I put in weren't kind of viral material. They felt like something else. They were kind of more introspective, more atmospheric, almost a bit more poetic. A lot of the stuff that I write that's poetry doesn't really catch algorithm fire. But I felt like it was important to put that kind of stuff in it. It felt like it needed like a bit of breathing room. I nearly didn't put it in. I nearly left it out, thinking, nah, this will dilute the book somehow. It will kill it off. It will make it something different. But I put them in, and now it's a strange beast of a book that is kind of part cynical and part wondrous. And I love the balance, the accidental balance that was a last minute, flippant, unthought thought. And I put them in, and now it's a strange beast of a book. Part of the reason I nearly didn't put them in is I thought, they're more suited thematically to another book. Now it's kind of this mottled light through some barbed lines, and so it's got this this really interesting balance now of brutal and gentle. And it needed it. I didn't know that. And it took me months later after I thought, did I do the right thing? And now I've looked through it the last week. I'm going, I like this. I like this. You never know what something is until months later. You have to kind of give it some space and time to let it settle. And to hear feedback in the first 2 days of the paperback being out in the US, it confirmed it. And so I feel, it feels justified that stupid, flippant, whimsical, mercurial decision is something that was good. Because I've made a lot of off the cuff decisions, and you go, what was I thinking? Whoops. Someone said in an early review that it stirred their inner child and crotchety old guy at the same time. That's what happened when I added the new stuff. That inner child and crotchety old guy. I love that weird mix. It never felt like it made sense at the time, but part of me went, no, just do it. I wrote something recently about something like, I'm running out of life story to write my way into a new one. I can only drive the train and lay the tracks at the same time for so long. And I worry that's the worry about getting old. You start to dig into so much old life story that it feels like vomiting it up and then eating it up again. I was saying that to a friend earlier today. I'm also distracted by how tired I look. It's like, oh, where'd that come from? So I'm pointing the camera at myself and I can see myself at the same time. The true gift of having it out in the world is now I'm hearing other people's stories and what it brings to them. Yeah, I'll read you some stuff. Like someone today said, I'm a 34-year-old father and spent the entirety of my life with existential dread on the surface of my thoughts, moulding me into some sort of silver lining cynic. And they said, the point is I've never come across another person that speaks a language that has blessed me through my life. Well, now I've become more overwhelmed with having nowhere to put these thoughts in a way that I feel would help others. But I see you and your words soothe some of the most detrimental corners of my brain. That was really sweet. I won't read too much of them, but another guy on LinkedIn sent me this. After listening just one time, this has affected me greatly. Laughing, tears, and a strange cosmic hug after 50 years of always questioning myself personally, professionally, and all else. I just ordered 10 copies of your paperback to give to friends, family, and co-workers. And then I'll get a few 3 stars out of 5 on Goodreads. Some people just don't like it at all, or just think, meh. They're the ones that hurt my ego the most, where people just give it not a 1, not a 5, but just in the middle. And my ego gets very disappointed. It's like, come on, at least hate it. But yeah, I forget the power of words, because the way these people talk about my new book is the way I thought about writers and thinkers who saved me, like Bukowski's gentler stuff. Just before he died, or Alan Watts in his 50s. These writers really helped me in my 30s when I was really struggling. I was going, what is this crap? Where am I going? Because the book was basically me taking out old straitjackets of the mind, putting them on, trying to wriggle free from those old straitjackets, see if I could do it again. And most of those pages that are in the book is where I actually felt like I got free from these old mental straitjackets. And that's also what I love about life. You get into trouble, you get into catch yourself in holes and traps. And sometimes they take 10 years to write my way out of them. Sometimes I never do. I'm still struggling with different things in life and stuff that, there's the only way out is the classic ancient way out, which I'm going to delay that for as long as I can. I'm blown away by some of the feedback, and it reminds me that the book is real. It's not, I'm not promoting it out of existence. They're words that I wrote. They're stuff that I felt deeply when I wrote them, and I forget that. And so it's a beautiful reminder just to, merge the marketing side of me and the artist side of me, But yeah, it's easy to forget that I actually wrote them as well. It's like, did I write that? Who is this message for me? I can't have done that. I didn't do that. And yeah, there's always those two people. There's the person who exists through life and yeah, falls into holes. And then there's the writer that comes up a day or 10 years later and cleans up after me with a few neat words, makes that mess a bit neat again. Anyway, if you'd like to leave a review for this podcast on Spotify, Apple, a little star rating or whatever, or a comment on YouTube, I'd love it.